Ready? Go.
Sweat Equity Podcast and streaming show, the #1 comedy business comedy podcast in the world. Pragmatic entrepreneurial advice with real raw dog talk. We've won so many awards, I don't even know if I want to list them in the intro again because I want to get right into it with Juliana, Whitney of Leaf Sheets and Can Strategy, talking cannabis, getting that dank ROI. Oh yeah, I saved that the whole episode.
He does it. Keep listening.
Listen to us on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, your mom's Walkman, Facebook, anything where audio might be.
Anything.
You're
up to a conch shell. Maybe you'll hear us.
Winamp.
Not just anything.
Rhapsody. Yeah, bringing back the 90s shit. That's for you old folk out there. This episode sponsored by Viome. Get your gut biome test, intelligence test supplements with our link to health insights, personalized food recommendations, and precision supplements formulated just for you. Get that gut biome test with Viome. Get 70% off with our link in the description. You want to know that flora and fauna?
Yes.
What's up in your tummy?
Yes.
What's up in your tum-tum?
Some people call me Cool Eric.
Are you really gluten allergic? Are you
What kind of penis are you?
Do penises affect your gut?
Yes.
You would only know if you do your gut biome test by Viome. 70% off with the link in this episode description. Let's get it. Hi! Hotty toddy!
What about my sweat equity? Sweat equity. Sweat equity. My sweat equity. My sweat equity. What about my sweat equity?
We're gonna have another guest come in while your episode's going on.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just make it a little jump.
Like a co-host.
Yeah.
It sounds disrespectful. Another guest. That's not the case.
Well, if she went to look at some episodes and was like, "What's this third dude in here now?"
Yeah, it's way nicer to say co-host.
Okay, co-host. I mean, we're recording now, so I guess we'll keep this in. Probably.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Depends on how lazy I am.
All right, Juliana. Did I say it correctly?
Juliana.
Yeah, with your pretty pink hair. Can you? We tell the guests
Don't be creepy.
No, we ask the guests if they can do their plugs at the top. You know, because people they bail out. They're jogging. They're doing laundry. Sometimes they pause. Sometimes they don't come back. So try to do them at the top of the show.
Okay, my plugs.
Where can people find you? Like what links? Sorry.
People can find me at leafsheets.com. So that's the main company. And then on LinkedIn, Juliana Whitney. I love LinkedIn, big fan. And on Instagram at official Juliana Whitney. And that's basically it.
You reached out to me on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And sometimes those are bots. I got to ask straight up. Was that a bot asking us to come? Okay. We've had that before.
Yeah, not a bot. It is a man in Pakistan that I've hired to email.
Oh, what?
But he's like real, and I have meetings with him and stuff. He's not a bot.
No, well,
You don't know that. It could be some awesome, cyborg robot.
well, yeah, he could be an AI Pakistani guy,
So
Well, yeah, it didn't come back in broken English, which is always a tell.
Oh yeah.
But you know what? I didn't
You
ask.
like promote podcasts?
I got 5 of those today.
All the time. All the time.
You need podcast promote now.
Yes.
I'm like, okay.
Sir, I reached out.
What is this
2
kind of
weeks.
negging they're doing on me? I thought that was the pickup artist was so 07. So let me ask you this, LinkedIn wise. Did you know how creepy dudes are to chicks on LinkedIn?
I can imagine. It's just like real life.
Just another avenue for guys to be creeps.
Right.
Have you had creepy dudes on LinkedIn?
Good question.
not many. I've had like a couple explicitly creepy dudes on LinkedIn, like one who said, "How's my wifey doing this morning?" And I was like,
What?
Whoa.
You.
"Do not know."
By the way, that qualifies as creepy.
Yeah,
If you're saying
well-
not really, but this one guy.
Yeah. So I've had a couple, and then some that just lurk for a very long time, and they pop up a lot just to chat, and it comes off a little creepy. I'm like, I don't know you.
What-
Why are we talking?
What kind of game are we talking? What are they saying?
It's always like there's always some obscure way we could potentially work together. So it's always a sell of, oh, look at this collaboration, which many times makes zero sense anyways. And then they'll just kind of keep honing in on that, even if I'm like, I don't think that that's a fit, So it's that.
I'm like any bad dating app stories from the female side, or I
Eat it up.
I just found
love
this
the
out.
gossip.
I love it. This is like this is my like, ooh, girl.
I know.
This is sassy time. Throw me a high noon and tell me some stories. Yeah, I mean, that's, there's got to be, how about this? I don't want to take this in this route the whole episode, but I'm definitely curious because, we want to be authentic on the show, I think, more than anything.
Sure.
Yeah. And
Oh,
and so
your secret guest.
have
Come
you
in,
had
buddy.
have you had any guys in just like businessy real life try to do the same maneuver?
Oh my gosh, all the time.
Time for the
Yeah,
chords.
like when I first started, I didn't know how to sift through it as much to detect like, oh, do you actually think we can work together, or is this, dinner meeting in your head a date of some sort,
Uh-huh.
So I got better over time at figuring that out, but that's definitely a tactic. And they'll
Really?
be like,
Oh, I'm
if
sure
I
they've
feel
convinced
like-
themselves it's not a
Oh.
date. This is a business thing. You never know what's going to happen.
Well,
and that's okay. That's
Yeah.
what they're telling themselves.
That's okay.
Right.
We're making a partnership with our genitals. We'll bring in our third mic, Professor Hank Henry Hollingsworth of allday.io.
Scoot you over a little there, buddy.
Coming into the shot. Hi there. How's it going? Hello, everybody.
He was late because he was smoking cannabis. No, that's what our guest.
A narc. dude.
Yeah, man. Are you guys high right now?
That has nothing to do with nothing. What are you
gotta tell
talking
me.
about?
You gotta tell me.
Not it.
Wired?
We have I got a nip slip going on in this outfit. I'm not wired, but maybe downstairs. You don't know what's
They have
that.
mics that look like nipples for sure.
These hard nips? I don't think so. They don't have lav mics that are
Way
just like
easier to
little
do the hard
areolas. Do they?
Yes. Yeah.
You're in the cannabis industry. How is what you're doing marketing strategy, correct?
Not marketing.
Okay, not marketing, just strategy.
Strategy.
Yeah.
In my main firm, I do business strategy with investors and ownership groups. And then with Leaf Sheets, it's like a DIY model for entrepreneurs that want to get into the industry or who are already in it.
So, can you do the elevator pitch of Leaf Sheets? Because we did a lot of research. Our Pakistani guy, didn't give us a lot of intel on you.
That high-tech robot
Yeah.
stays up all night learning things.
Okay, Leaf Sheets. Well, 6 years of doing, consulting with investors, and I do a lot of the things that people get mad about. So working with the people with all the money that get all the privilege to get into the industry and have all the resources, And as an entrepreneur, I thought, okay, I can't just be part of the problem. And is there a way that we could help real scrappy, creative, innovative entrepreneurs who could probably do a great job in this if they could just have access to the information and have access to actually entering the industry? Is there a way to serve them without having to open a consulting firm that charges like barely any money, So we built Leaf Sheets as a product, and I like to say it's essentially a cannabis business strategist in a product and a DIY kind of model, like almost like LegalZoom for lawyers. Like with law firms,
Yeah. There's a lot to bite on that.
Weed dealers are different now.
Yeah. What would you like to know?
Well, no, I wanted to see. So, there's a lot of questions on both sides, the entrepreneurial side and the cannabis side. Is it a state? Do you do specific states to kind of have this marketplace or this connection, this resource? What would you call it? Kind of.
I call it a business support platform.
Okay. That's
And-
better copy. Yep.
Yes.
And it's national. So we built it to be, since it's a DIY, every product on there, so say you get an inventory management plan, that will come with a do-it-yourself guide, which will walk you through how to customize it for your business and then also for your state, so that you can make it state specific. And then our next round or iteration essentially will be state specific versions of every product we have.
So you're given the playbook essentially with guidance, with personal guidance.
Legal Zoom for weed.
Yeah, but I mean this sounds more bespoke. This sounds a little bit more like it's a little templated playbook wise, but it's also it sounds like you're connecting with them via Zoom. It's not just all DIY, correct?
I like mine better.
Yeah.
It's not all DIY. It's largely, it is largely like that since it's
Sure.
a scalable product. But we will have webinars and stuff in order to actually connect with people. And we're trying to figure out how to best actually support people as they go through it, because it's not reasonable to think you would just have, all your documents, your DIY, and totally get everything. So we're figuring that out.
Yeah, education for entrepreneurs in the industry. What do you find is the biggest hurdle, personality-wise, with all these entrepreneurs?
Personality-wise?
Yeah, like the psychology of these people who are seeking your help.
The biggest hurdle is how hyped up they are, and they're just so stoked on their idea and how cool it is.
They're so green.
Get them, to get them to understand. Wait, there's rules here. There's processes here. There's this,
Put the
that.
camera on you.
Overwhelming.
I feel like it's either going to be people who have never smoked weed in their life and have a lot of money, or stoners are the two choices usually who would be interested in this business.
Functional stoners.
Right.
Sure. Like I smoke weed and I'm out.
But it seems like it's entering into a lot newer types of markets today. Like edibles is one simple example, and then medicinal versus recreational splits up into different strategies for how to attract doctors more, or as opposed to the individual smoker. So you kind of so where would you say then your kind of niche target is in terms of who you like to work with? What types of entrepreneurs are the best types of entrepreneurs to work with in this space?
For leaf sheets?
Right.
Okay, so for leaf sheets, it's the possibly a functional, stoner. I don't know, but people who
Way
are
cooler, man.
Yeah, they're relatively intelligent. They're excited to get into the industry, and they're willing to do some of the work because it's 80% done for you, but you need another 20%,
Yep.
But they would have to be at least have that level of dedication to do a little bit of what it takes to get them there.
So is it basically unpacking the business plan and overall documents you need to be able to be a legal business in the space, and is that kind of how it helps unpack for you? So anybody can then kind of get started and then from there build their foundation.
Yeah, because what a lot of people do is they'll say, okay, I want to start a business in this state. And then they'll read what the rules are and regulations and what they need. And then they'll think, oh, I could do this by myself. And then they submit trash, absolute trash, because they have no idea what it actually is needed. So leaf sheets will get you, they're like, okay, we'll get you 85% of the way there. All you have to do is this much, and we'll tell you how to do it. So if you can figure that out, then you're good to go. Because so many people think, oh, I can write a security plan.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
I look at those templates. I'm like, nope. I don't need to be a business owner. I don't like it. I don't even like business. What part of of your plan is don't get high on your own supply? Please tell me you have that on just even as a joke chapter title or something.
You're right. We don't. I wish I could. Yeah.
Well, you're welcome.
I'll talk to Nick about putting it in there.
That means not going to happen.
Yeah, you can have a lot of fun copy.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you have a business acumen because you have your own J. Whitney & Co., right? And then you have this expertise over in the cannabis industry. Can you tell us about Can Strategy? What's the you can just do Shark Tank pitches on all three entities you have.
Okay. J. Whitney & Co. holding company.
Okay.
J. Whitney & Co. will hold my empire, which is starting with Can Strategy and Leaf Sheets, which I just told you about.
So you have a holdings company that protects the main thing above that.
Oh, you love
and underneath
you love
I learned this, and I feel very smart from our power business attorney telling us how to do this. Then you have feeder LLCs out, right? Yeah. Look at the big brain on Brett, huh?
Yeah, we're all impressed.
Keep going.
That's it. That's all I got. Well, protects her.
Separating entities.
Protects her
Congrats.
personally, but an LLC is a good way to start for a lot of people that need to start the business. Go on LegalZoom and do that, but then you get to the next level, and you need a lot of layers of protection.
I'll do it. Can Strategy. Can Strategy is where we work with the well-funded investors to get them into the industry, to scale their businesses, to optimize whatever they're currently doing to make it better, all those things. That's bigger business.
What do you, when potential investors are reaching out, are they going more retail? Are they going wholesale? Or is it they want to be in vertical, kind of integrated?
We work with more retail.
Okay.
And some cultivation, some production, but mainly retail.
Are you trying to get them to have the COVID, the anti-COVID strain? We had our friend who has a vertically integrated.
We're in a shirt.
Yeah, thegramco.com, and he was trying to explain to us in a lot of abbreviations about Delta 9 and CBDNA and NDA and a lot of stuff.
We're good listeners.
We were trying to follow, but it was like, dude, how are you in this industry and talking like this?
For one thing, none of it was psychoactive, so you didn't even hear that.
He was an attorney, or is an attorney, but he very much answered questions like an attorney, very detailed and like way too verbose.
He's still an attorney after two appearances on our show.
Oh man, they're gonna give him like Florida Bar like award or something probably for being awesome. The Florida Bar
for being awesome, man.
Yeah, man. I'm sober and I sound high right now. So, do you find the retail by state? Let's say I'm trying to open one in Utah. Is that a lot more constraints than Washington?
There's so many more. For instance, you could not apply in Utah right now. You couldn't do it. The only way in.
Quick, think of another state.
Buy a business. Yeah. Washington's way easier. Oklahoma, easier-ish. Those kind of states.
And are you doing anything on the higher end level where you're trying to help movements to get things passed recreationally or
lobbying?
Medically? Yeah.
No, I'm not that cool. No.
Good.
Okay. Or you're doing it and not going to tell us.
Right. No, of course I'm not.
What's the normal optimization kind of strategy for anybody that's a client of yours? What's the problem you see most of the time? I'm guessing that's really the question I'm asking.
The problem, so with operators or with people who want to get in?
People who want to get in, investors. What's the biggest hindrance?
The biggest hindrance is that they also have absolutely no idea what's going on. They come to me just as confused as anyone else, baffled. I have to tell them crazy things about how taxes work, and they're like, there's no way. And then we have to, that's how it works, So they're also equally as confused. They can just afford to pay to get that, confusion figured out for them. But yeah, they have no idea. And then a lot of them have no real vision for the business. So they know, okay, I think there's a business model here. We could set something up. It could be profitable, but they don't have a real brand in mind or, even a long-term strategy. A lot of times I always like to think, okay, let's go multi-state, let's build a chain. And a lot of times they've only thought like the first application, the first states, and really don't know what they want to do except make money. So that's an issue.
That's interesting. That's not. I wouldn't thought that at all. But now I'm thinking like, what are like athletes and rappers hit you up? Like, people with money that want to invest, but don't. I
Right.
feel like the people I know that invest like that.
I don't want to file taxes in 2 states, 3 states.
Well, yeah.
Actually, that takes the athletes and rappers out. Never mind.
Well, but I mean, like, I feel like the people I know that would probably put millions into something like that is they would be almost like how doctors hate people Googling medical things and telling them back medical stuff. Like, I feel like you'd have someone that did their pocket research of sorts. I thought it would be the other way. Well, I mean, if you're investing money, maybe look into it a little bit.
Investing nerd.
I guess, so are you writing business plans out for them? Take us through like that normal kind of walkthrough.
And strategy, everything. It's almost hard to like fully describe everything that we wind up doing, but it's, yes, business plans. It's connecting them with vendors from their construction firm, architects, security companies, managing those vendor relationships. And we've got your security plan, your hiring and training, doing the recruiting, managing actual like build out, startup design, your launch, everything. It's hand holding through. We even help them figure out ownership teams. It is insane. I've had federal judges that will call me because they cannot figure out how to properly do their fingerprints. Like, they will call me from, how do I fill this out? It's happened with every ownership team. It's like insane. It's one of the biggest issues.
Wait a second. There's a federal judge who owns a weed thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Retired, but
He was
Oh, man.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
great. Conspiracy, man.
He just does arbitration now for fun.
Gets high all day. Sounds cool as shit.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So you're getting a lot of people that come, even if they have a professional background, what I'd call a super professional background, because I talk like I'm 5, but that they're even kind of inept in the business side of everything.
oh, absolutely.
But it sounds like you're seeing them through the entire journey of existing in business. So a lot of that, for many investors especially, is more of a startup package where you're getting all the teams together and everything off the ground. But then you were talking about strategies of multi stores across states and so big. So you're able to kind of see basically their entire business and marketing journey all the way through and support them with that growth as they kind of go.
Exactly. And I say so they can sleep.
Yeah.
Because if they were to try and figure it all out and, manage it all themselves, they would never sleep. They'd be constantly stressed. They'd probably wind up, getting divorced and losing custody of their kids. So we take care of everything, so it doesn't eat their lives up. I've actually seen that happen. I have seen this business be so not what someone thought it was going to be when they went in, that it caused real life damage.
Oh, yeah. That's any business.
What types of issues come up because it's a cash business?
gosh.
Beyond the issue of the banks, that's kind of the one clear issue. But it sounds like managing a big business as a cash empire comes with a host of cartel-like issues.
Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
I've seen Breaking Bad.
Well, for instance, in Florida, I have a medical marijuana card, and we have to do this weird dance.
Me too.
Well, you have to do this weird dance where you pay with your debit card, and then they have to round up and give you cash back.
It's like you got money out of the ATM.
And you're like, what
We're
the
fooling
fuck?
them.
I'm like, why are we doing this? This is so dumb.
It's
Why?
the only way to use a card, though.
But I know, but it doesn't have. There's no way it has to be
There's
that
an
way.
app you can prepay.
Guys, I get it.
Let's
I'm
let
saying
the- let's let the expert fill
I'm
us
just
in.
giving an example to kind of making a leading question of sorts.
Perfect.
Yeah. So, what you're saying is basically because that's not even debit card processing. It is just an ATM at the cashier. But in order to make you feel better that you're using a card, places like to implement that. But other things that are difficult are just, you're hiring, a lot of your employees are handling a lot of cash, and that's a lot to track. You're having to train them and then trust them that they're tracking everything and tracking it appropriately. The way you have to keep records is, less automated because it's not a bunch of just card transactions. So the manual information that goes into your point of sale has to be accurate. And for an everyday employee, if they're making like $15 to $20 an hour, it can be difficult to get them to understand really how important that is, because if you were to get audited and those were off because your employees just didn't take it very seriously, that could get your business shut down, you know? So just like the tracking and tracing of cash itself, and then that's an issue.
And that's just inside issues. Not even talking about people wanting to just roll up on you.
Right.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
take that. I mean, it's kind of
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah, the secret door on the floor type situation that
Right.
needs to be built into every facility.
Yeah, I would say my advice would be, if you're a manager, watch Casino.
Have you seen Punisher?
Watch Casino with Sam Rothstein, De Niro playing Sam Rothstein, and he's very like, these guys watch these guys watch these guys. We got the camera in the sky, or the eye in the sky, whatever, and run it like that, because that's old school casino style, was all cash.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you. I think they had that already figured. I mean,
I don't know, man.
They know to do that.
It ain't Chick-fil-A employees and the ones I walk in, so they're definitely like, what were we doing? I'm like, it takes 12 minutes to do a sticker. This is as absurd as going to the pharmacist. You're like,
It is,
This
guys.
takes 5 minutes. This shouldn't take more than 5 minutes to put pills in a thing.
So it's like, why don't you go inside? I'm like, because it's so pointless. It takes forever. They want to talk about the weed. I'm like, I don't talk about weed with people that I like hanging out with.
Right.
I'm like, do we got to talk about this?
Like, you like this
Who cares?
one, bro?
Like, does it get you high or not?
Like, don't profile me, right? They'll be like,
strain is
you look
this?
like a guy that would
I
like
don't
this
care.
purple shit. And you're like,
Yeah.
you don't know me.
Surprise, it's half off.
Yeah.
Everything's always on sale. Always.
And
Wears off.
marijuana, medical marijuana, at least as a crop, I guess destroys every other crop combined in America.
What?
So if you combine corn,
They fight
wheat,
each other?
all of that, all the revenue of that,
Oh, okay.
marijuana crushes it like by twice or as much or something like that. Do you find when you're working, because you're kind of in the smaller atmosphere and there's a lot of corporate, like corporations kind of, or enterprise level size kind of companies coming in, does that bother you, or do you just find it's kind of the same motif as any kind of small business versus large business? Like, are you worried about that coming in, like some conglomerate?
No.
Nestle starts getting in the business and you're like, fuck.
Yeah,
I'm not worried about it at all. I think that, even the mighty fall, and just because someone's been successful in another industry does not mean they'll be successful in the next, And I also think the industry has so much potential for true large, the next large companies to come out of it, but actually as startups, like these overnight multi-billion-dollar companies, that I think we're going to see a lot of them fall on their faces. It happened with MedMen. I called that when they
Really?
did their $50 million raise. I was like, there's something weird about that. Walmart wasn't built overnight like that. Everyone running around, we're in the next Starbucks, we're the next this, except you're trying to be that size in 2 years. And that's not how it works. So there's going to be holes there that we're not seeing yet. I think those ones are going to fall that are, the industry, the companies building from within cannabis and are huge. I think some of them will tank. And then large companies that come from the outside into cannabis, I think a few of them will figure out they actually don't really want to mess with it because it gets so complicated. Like, if you can just make a ton of money with high profit margins on chocolate, why not? Like, why try and start messing with a bunch of controlled regulations? I wouldn't.
Well, what if a big company comes to you like Philip Morris and they want you to just create this transition or this sort of, I don't know how they would. I mean, they're basically just selling kind of the same thing, but I don't think it even matters. Whether it's just like, look, you smoke these too. But what would you do?
If a big company came to me,
That's the pitch. An old guy going, hey, you like these? You like this? You smoke these?
We now
you can
have
smoke
this.
these.
Yes.
I would work with them. I would work with the large company for sure.
Oh.
Yeah. But I would still keep Leaf Sheets alive. So with Can, I would, we could work with kind of a larger company. But with Leaf Sheets, I still want to keep that door open for the entrepreneurial kinds, the craft people. They don't even have to be craft people. They could be super smart, put together this whole plan, and then go raise capital and start the next MSO. It's just like where they're at today and what they can do today.
You got something?
It just sounds like your leaf
Get up
sheet.
on that, Mike. Get up on that.
It sounds like your leaf sheets business informs your can business. It's almost like the startups obviously could grow all the way through to earn themselves strategy and move themselves into your other business. But in addition to that, it almost, at this point, I feel like with cannabis industry, you're looking for innovation in the space. You're looking for how to do this fresh, and especially moving into new states, the opportunity is really big, so it almost then begs the question, just to bring that all the way back around, since that sounds true, is with a Philip Morris sized company, like what is that execution strategy? What's an innovative way to enter this space today that maybe is so outdated from 3 and 4 and 5 years ago?
Yeah, it's got to be crowded. Is
Right.
get all.
Gotta be what?
It's got to be a crowded industry, right? I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. But the beautiful thing is that even though it's crowded, there's not that many people doing a good job. And it creates this ability to do very simple things well and succeed because of that. So you would say branding and marketing. So simple, that's required for businesses. Few have figured it out. If you look at cannabis logos, oh my gosh.
I bet it's
they're all
green.
black, white. They all have a picture of cannabis on it. Like they're all named Leaf or
Yes.
or Relief or like something of that. So it's almost not even innovative how you can succeed in the industry at this point. Almost like just do well-known business practices well, because everyone else is acting like we're reinventing the wheel.
Yeah,
Because
customer service. Start there.
imagine
Don't take
that.
forever.
Have delivery that actually
Right, that's
delivers efficiently.
Yeah, just simple things. Do the simple things really well, and that alone in this industry is super innovative.
So,
You're really ahead of the game.
you as an entrepreneur, I want to ask you, what do you, how do you keep this all together? It sounds like you've got a lot of things moving. We talk about on this show, the dirty secret, and Henry's got his own company as well. The dirty little secret about entrepreneurship is it's very lonely. Even if you have a partner, you have a business partner that you've worked with for 10 years, something like that?
Just about, yep.
And, but even y'all don't fully empathize each other's plight, even though you might get close. What do you find is kind of like your secrets to success, being an entrepreneur? Being a boss babe? I hate that term.
Boss babe.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I'd so agree. It's so lonely. And people don't, I think, totally get that, especially I'll be at a lot of events and stuff and I have, it all looks so cool, but I don't have, kind of someone in the trenches a lot, or people that really understand what's going on and that I'm like balancing and doing in the world. With Leaf Sheets, I at least have Nick, and that's helpful, who's my co-founder. My secrets to success are just, not wanting to be an absolute failure in the eyes of my parents and the world. So you just keep going.
Jesus.
Wow. Very introspective.
Sound like my stand-up comedian friends. We're just doing this to get our parents' attention.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. I'm just like, okay, well, what's your alternative? You either succeed and you keep going and you make things happen. What's your alternative? You're an absolute failure. And then you just keep going, That's the truth. That's my truth.
No. We didn't want to leave you hanging to dry. We thought, a little bit more, but you're like, oh, that's it. We asked,
Absolute failure is a bit, that's extreme. I mean, you got to live your life after that,
well, maybe
Go right
is
to absolute failure. You
That's
had
the
one
motivation
shot.
that gets her there.
This isn't Eminem and 8 Mile.
She's got one shot.
You
dude.
get lots of shots.
One shot. But I do also have to say that I do have a purpose. It sounds cheesy, but
No, it doesn't.
I had a while there where I kind of lost it. My first company, I had a business partner that it all totally tanked and just deflated me. And I kind of lost the sight of where I was going and what I wanted to do. And it was really hard for me to get things done then. And I took like 6 months, and all I thought about was, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? Where do I want to go? And like, how do I want to structure this moving forward? And once I got that back, that's really a huge driver to my success. Because even when it's harder, it's lonely, I remember my like reason, you know.
How do you continually recalibrate yourself now so that doesn't happen again? We like to get down to like the minutia of some of this stuff. So, you know, what are the habits you have now? Because what you learned previously.
I make sure to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Whoop. Do you see? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I used to almost never sleep, and I would drink like 5 nitro cold brews a day, and you know, it was not good. So that wasn't great for my mental health. So now I make sure to sleep. I also meditate. If I ever get really anxious and freaked out, like what is going on, I'll meditate and listen to vibey things, remind myself, you know, that we're all one and what spirit I'm having a spiritual experience, you know, all the things. So that gives me more of a big picture kind of view. And if I ever feel McKinsey, the consulting firm, they'll say in the weeds, just too like thinking too small, I'll just kind of step back and redefine and remind myself what I'm doing. I went to Tulum for 5 weeks last year specifically to do that. I was like, I feel like everyone wants a coffee meeting. Everyone wants my time. I'm all over. I'm going to
Mexico,
Mexico.
dude. No, only hot chicks go to Tulum. That's my theory. I've only seen hot chicks on Instagram posting from Tulum. That is like rehab. That's not rehab, but I only
new level of creepy.
Yeah, I'm gonna creep you out on LinkedIn now.
No, it's like 20% women and like 80% guys, because Tulum's genius in marketing is only showing the women. So groups. I mean, it's like groups of like 10, 20 guys, and there's like 5 women.
Hey, I'm wearing my rainbow pants. I'll say hi to some cute guys down there. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, that's interesting. You get because I at one point was like, I should go down there. I should go check it out. If I go on a self vacation, I should just go there for a couple days. And I'm so glad you told me it's a sausage party. We ask everybody that comes on the show the first time. This is our last question for you. You know, what advice would you give your 13-year-old self?
13?
Mm-hmm.
My 13-year-old self, oh, gosh, I would tell that girl that to stop worrying so much about what people thought, and that her weird quirks were going to be her power one day, even though I was pretty weird. I was a weird kid. But now they're my superpowers. That's what I would tell her.
Does anybody else want to ask what the quirks were? What kind of quirks are we talking about?
Do you wear bunny ears all the time?
Yeah.
No,
like
actually,
Bob's Burgers.
It's not that quirky, actually, but it would be, well, one, I talk like a valley girl, so I used to get made fun of for that all the time. And then also, I can have a ton of energy. And when I was young, the amount of people who thought I was on drugs all the time, so then I had to like stop being completely me almost, because so many people like legitimately thought I was taking something, and kind of dulled that down. And then over time, I just thought, whatever, screw it. You can think I'm on coke constantly. It is what it is. And that's been helpful. Now in life, people aren't like, oh, are you taking a bunch of drugs? You know?
That's not that quirky, though. That's just your personality.
That's not super quirky.
What were you doing with that energy?
Yeah.
And then I'd rearrange my parents' pantry all the time.
Quirkier.
I take apart VCRs, put them back together.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, VCRs.
Well, appreciate you coming on, and tell your Pakistani guy that booked this for you. Good job.
I will. Sweet guy. He'll be so happy to hear it.
All right. Well,
he has enough RAM. What?
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
It was great to meet you. You